Hi guys, my last video got quite a number of views, several thousands compared to the usual hundreds or even less. No cause for celebration, but at least some people are watching. I thank those who liked my video. As for the haters, it's good that you can create some contrast. How do I stand out without you around? I did very well for history in school. I still like history very much, and I think there are important lessons we can learn from history. However, I don't live in the past. I react to clear and present danger. I don't worry about colliding with the Titanic when I go out on a cruise. A few days ago, a big earthquake off Japan injured more than 50 people. Authorities said the quake damaged roads, knocked out power for thousands of people in freezing temperatures. Several aftershocks followed. A bigger one might be on the way. As usual, only one nationality in the world cheered, just like the time when Shinzo Abe was assassinated. Only one country celebrated. Normally, a person like Calvin Ching is not just pro-PAP but also pro-China. However, PM Wong's recent comments vis-a-vis Japan's trustworthiness in maintaining regional security sparked some unrest over Mr. Ching's Facebook profile. He was shocked by the unexpected attacks from folks he normally regards as 自己人. Let me go through some of his comments. The first relevant comment he made in the wake of the Bloomberg conference is this one. I'll read to you the most interesting part. Quote, China seems to have got offended and are mounting a propaganda campaign against Singapore and PM Lawrence in particular. On the foreign affairs front, I wouldn't be too worried as the main target of China's is Japan. PM Wong also didn't say anything new. What I'm more worried about are Singaporeans taking the side of China and repeating their talking points domestically. I would like to again repeat what I have said regarding foreign affairs. Singapore's interests must always come first. Our loyalty must always be to Singapore first and foremost. Don't take up a cause just because you share a religion or ancestry with some foreign entity. I am ethnic Chinese. I went to Chinese high. I lived in China for 7 years and made good money there. But I will tell you now, I'm Singaporean and I have no interest in any PRC narrative. I beseech all Singaporeans to do the same. Unquote. I don't really like Calvin Ching, especially when he tried to deny gerrymandering. But I think he's right. If you go through his past posts, you'll be able to tell that he's always praising China. Maybe that's why his profile attracted so many people who embrace the PRC's ethno nationalism. Then he goes again, I quote, Singapore needs to do more in psychological defense. Inoculate our population. At the moment, our population is too susceptible to being brainwashed by outside influences, whether it's religion or ancestry-based. We have seen so much of it these 2 years. Unquote. These 2 years only? I think it was most intense during COVID. Let's not forget that back in 2021, a 37-year-old Singapore citizen by the name of Zhao Zheng, a former deputy lead of the data management unit set up by the Ministry of Health to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, leaked the daily number of COVID-19 cases to a chat group of 50 people before they were publicized, even offering a small prize to those who managed to predict the figures. This group comprised many Chinese nationals. Such things are happening, and not all of them are detected, even as S.M. Lee told us to embrace our extended family. I'm sure Calvin Cheng supported that. He went on to say, I quote, "The world has fundamentally changed. It has become more fragmented, more tribal, more transactional. International law and treaties are not as reliable as before. As a small state with the most open economy in the world, Singapore is disproportionately affected by the reversal of globalization. As an immigrant nation forged by very diverse communities, outside forces threaten to pull Singapore apart whenever there is a global conflict. In such circumstances, a lot of Singapore's domestic politics is almost village-like, parochial. The greatest threat to Singapore in the next decade is not COE prices, HDB prices, court cases against politicians, MRT breakdowns. We will either be overwhelmed by a big global economic crisis or be torn asunder by a war which pulls our people in different directions. That should be the lesson we should learn from the last 3 years." Unquote. I don't know why Calvin Cheng is so surprised. This isn't too difficult to predict, is it, Mr. Cheng? All the signs were there many years ago, but probably invisible to Mr. Cheng and his favourite party. I remember our former Prime Minister asked us to embrace our extended family, and Singapore is for everybody. Those who say we must be more careful who we embrace are labelled xenophobic. Make no mistake, CCTV, Yangshi, can be streamed 24/7 into any Singaporean home. The world is so well connected, but ironically, integration has become more difficult than ever. Meanwhile, the Sinophiles have been calling for a boycott against Japan. It's on social media and even a certain country's official media. If you're not careful, you may even stumble on a Singaporean who condemns Japan and Singapore in the same breath. Strangely, people in Shanghai have waited up to 14 hours to dine at a newly opened Japanese restaurant. News channel Japan Insight said that the CCP's propaganda isn't working. Really? Another interesting post shows a PRC national using a Taiwanese passport cover over his PRC passport. The comment is as sarcastic as it gets. 罗沙国的人出国要拿淘宝买的 cosplay 省外套，还真是充满大国自信啊。罗沙国 refers to corrupt China as referred to in Dao Lang's satirical song. It was comforting to know that in spite of all the brainwashing, many Chinese people really want to holiday in Japan, enjoy Japanese food, and they also wish they have a Taiwanese passport that allows them to travel to more countries visa-free. Now, what's not so comforting are the folks who have issues with their own national identity. They can be the most fervent apologists. Of course, these folks are just a tiny minority, as one of my friends used to say. But what's horribly pathetic is that they end up doing all the dirty work for the propagandists. It's an utter insult that CCP propaganda is more effective outside rather than inside China, with the English educated among us embracing ethno nationalism more aggressively than the Chinese educated. Anecdotally, they are most numerous in Malaysia and Singapore. They may be a minority, but definitely not a small one. Having said that, we can't just lump the Sinophiles into the same pizza dough. They are motivated by different reasons, and some of them are not even genuine Sinophiles but mercenaries. I've already touched on the BACs or Born Again Chinese. Go check out my previous video if you haven't. Let me go through a few common categories and let me know if I've left any out. The most common term used to describe these folks is 五毛, or 50 cents. It comes from the pay per post reward given to recruited individuals who share Chinese propaganda and shoot down any criticism of China and its leaders. They are cyber mercenaries. While 五毛 may sound cheap, cyber mercenaries are not necessarily low-profile, anonymous keyboard warriors. At a higher level, sometimes much higher level, they can be artists, celebrities, influencers, and pathetic academics. In return for acts of patriotism, they get funding and sponsorships that may run into millions. There is a subcategory of high-profile 五毛, which are often called 舔共艺人. They may come from any country, not necessarily Chinese, but they have one thing in common. They are hungry for the biggest market in the world, and they would stoop to any level for a share of that pie. Some people try to justify their behavior as showing respect towards the country that feeds them. Now, does that mean that all foreign investors are obliged to act as 五毛? Now, there is a difference between respect and subservience. Doing business in a Muslim country does not mean that you have to pray 5 times a day. And foreign businesses don't just go to China for a free lunch. It's a mutually beneficial undertaking, and nobody should feel compelled to adopt the other's ideology. Foreign investments benefit the Chinese economy and provide employment opportunities for people in China. Without them, China could not have lifted that many people out of poverty. The arrogance and sense of self-importance we see in these folks is just unbelievable. Next, 小粉红, as they are called in China, and 中华胶, as they are called outside China. 中华胶 or 大中华胶 refers to Chinese chauvinists and stooges of the propagandists. Synonymous with them would be the 自干五 or unpaid 五毛. Now, these volunteers genuinely believe that China, with its 5,000 years of greatness, is getting everything right, while the West is decadent, backward, and jealous of China's success. Quite a number of prominent people in Singapore may fall into this category, but don't get me wrong. Some of these guys are actually good people. Unfortunately, they are blindsided, misinformed, mesmerized by appearances. Now, take a look at this post I found on Threads. With TikTok and whatnot, judgments are made at the speed of light and often based purely on appearances. Adoption? Wait till she needs to deal with the system. Now, that's an exaggeration, but some 中华胶 see it as their duty to praise and justify every single thing coming out of China. Why? I think some of them see themselves as discoverers of secrets they think are unknown to other English-educated people like themselves. Some Sinophiles are certainly not naive. They know that spying, stealing intellectual property, lying, bullying are all wrong, but acceptable as long as their gang or their tribe benefits. Injustice doesn't bother them as long as they are not the victims. They believe that freedom and human rights of lesser beings can and should be sacrificed for a greater good. For these folks, the ultimate goal of achieving Chinese superiority is worth any crime or sacrifice. A 小粉红 once said to me, quote, "We'll never catch up with the West if we don't steal from them." Will that really make our ancestors very proud? Shouldn't they be ashamed? Now, these folks have no issues with China encroaching on other countries' territories, not because they are ignorant of international law, but because they believe that China can make better use of the land than the rightful owners. Now, if somebody is richer than you and can give your kids a better education and living environment, do you think you should give your kids away? If someone can decorate your home better than you can, Does it mean that you should surrender your home? Even without getting paid, Xiao Fen Hong or Zhonghua Jiao spend hours on social media defending Chinese hegemony because deep down they have a strong sense of superiority over outsiders. Now, these folks are the real patriots and supremacists, but they are also pawns that can be sacrificed any day. The mercenaries are the ones who often get the last laugh. Many of them go on to apply for American passports and buy properties overseas while chanting China number one, America evil one. Just last week, I noticed that a post I made on Facebook was unintentionally shared on Threads, and it went viral. I started posting directly on Threads, and the results were very encouraging. Threads is under the same company as Facebook, but the algorithm can't be more different. Of course, the usual idiots are still there, but at least it is fairer towards differing positions. It can be a little overwhelming dealing with the flood of replies I get, but for sure I'll be spending a lot more time on Threads and less on Facebook going forward. Finally, Minister David Neo, the guy who wakes up every morning like everybody else, said something very interesting. He said that we share our treasures and stories, we all become richer. Sounds exciting? Well, some people actually got angry, swanning Minister Neo about his astronomical salary. Actually, they missed out on the context and got it all wrong. Our Wake Up Sunrise Minister was talking about heritage philanthropy. He was thanking generous Singaporeans who have contributed their expertise, their artifacts, and their prized collections at the Patron of Heritage Awards 2024, held on the 19th of November 2025. Our minister was telling the contributors that we have all become richer from their contributions. Don't get it wrong, we are not expected to share our treasures.